My question is,
Call is now being recorded.
so my question is, see, not only you are trying to say branded food can cause diseases. So I'm asking, is only branded food is going to get you the disease, or even disbalance in the health pyramid can also get you the disease?
ফুড ব্র্যান্ডেড প্যাকেজ ফুডেই শুধু হয় না, মানে এই সব রোগগুলো মানে বিভিন্ন রকমের আহ মানে ফাস্ট ফুড থেকেই বেশিরভাগ দেখা যায় এইসব রোগগুলো,
হুম,
যেগুলো আমি পোস্টারে দেখিয়েছি। তো
মানে
তাই
ম্যাম
জন্য
তোমাকে যেটা জানতে চেয়েছে যে ধরো তুমি যদি ফুড গাইড পিরামিডটা না ফলো করো, একজন মানুষ যদি ফুড গাইড
হ্যাঁ,
পিরামিড না ফলো করে, তাহলেও কি এসব রোগ হতে পারে যেটা তুমি দেখাচ্ছ?
হ্যাঁ, কিছু কিছু ক্ষেত্রে ফুড পিরামিড তো অনেকেই মেনে চলতে পারে না, তো কিছু কিছু ক্ষেত্রে হয়ে থাকে
হুম,
এই
হুম।
রোগগুলো।
Okay. If
So
anyone
any
else
other
can want to
questions
ask, yeah.
from any other student? Any questions, please, for her, for Shonchita, regarding her e-poster? Shonchita, can you just name some junk foods that we usually consume which are harmful for us?
বাচ্চাদের জন্য ওই স্যারলাক, ল্যাকটোজেন এগুলো তো জাঙ্ক ফুডই আমি মনে করি।
আর অ্যাডাল্টসের জন্য আমরা কি ধরনের জাঙ্ক ফুড খাই ইউজুয়ালি?
অ্যাডাল্টরা তো বেশিরভাগ ফাস্ট ফুডই খায়, তো ওই বাইরের এগ রোল, চাউমিন, মোগলাই এগুলো তো মানে জাঙ্ক ফুডই।
অ্যান্ড জাঙ্ক ফুড আর ফাস্ট ফুডে কি ডিফারেন্স? দুটো কি একই?
না, জাঙ্ক ফুড গুলো হলো যেগুলো ওই প্যাকেজ করা যে খাবারগুলো, যেমন লেস, কুরকুরে, এই টাইপের গুলো জাঙ্ক ফুড। আর ফাস্ট ফুড হলো যেগুলো আগে থেকেই তৈরি করা আছে কিছুটা, পরে মানে চাওয়ার পরে কিছুটা আমাকে বানিয়ে দিল, সেগুলো ফাস্ট ফুড, যেমন চাউমিন, এগরোল, মোমো এইসব।
Okay, thank you, Shonchita. Please stay back. We will then move on to the next presentation.
ওকে ম্যাম, থ্যাংক ইউ।
Shanghamitra Banerjee, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
আচ্ছা, সঙ্গমিত্র, আমি তোমার পোস্টারটা শেয়ার করছি। প্লিজ ফার্স্ট ইন্ট্রোডিউস ইয়োরসেলফ ওয়েল, বিকজ জাজ ম্যাডাম তো তোমাকে একদমই চেনেন না, আমরা কেউই চিনি না ইনফ্যাক্ট। তো নিজেকে একটু ভালো করে ইন্ট্রোডিউস করে তারপর তুমি তোমার পোস্টারটাকে এক্সপ্লেন করবে। আর ভিডিওটা কাইন্ডলি একটু অন রাখলে ভালো হয়। দেখা যাচ্ছে পোস্টারটা?
Yes, ma'am.
আমি এটা আগে দেখাচ্ছি, যেহেতু এটা আই থিঙ্ক তোমার ইন্ট্রোডাক্টরি স্লাইড মনে হলো আমার। ইজ দ্যাট ওকে?
Yes, ma'am.
আচ্ছা, তো সঙ্গমিত্র, প্লিজ ইন্ট্রোডিউস ইয়োরসেলফ।
Good evening, respected teachers. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Shanghamitra Banerjee. I am from Women's College, Calcutta, Semester 3, Food and Nutrition Department. So, first of all, I would like to thank Gokhale Memorial Girls College for giving us such a wonderful opportunity to represent our thoughts regarding the topic combating hidden hunger. Uh, so, first of all, I would like to say about what is hidden hunger. Any deficiency of micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, these kind of deficiencies leads to malnutrition, and that is known as hidden hunger. So, the impact of hidden hunger is not visible, but we can say that it impairs both the physical and intellectual development in a child. So, according to the latest data 2021, I would like to say that out of every 6 children under the age of 4, one children suffers from malnutrition in India, and globally it is said to be around 2 billion people suffers from hidden hunger. So today my main focus is on how we can prevent hidden hunger. So first of all, uh, as we can see from the slide, first point is biofortification of agricultural product. So the main, or I can say the primary target or motive of this biofortification of agricultural product is to produce high density mineral and vitamin enriched staple food in for the people who lives in rural areas, or for them who are so poor that who cannot afford to have high cost foods. uh, it is very effective because biofortification leads to very low cost maintenance of the crops, so it helps in affordability. Second of all, that is a dietary diversification of micronutrients. So it ensures quality and safe diet of adequate micronutrients as well as macronutrients for each individuals. uh, it mainly follows the principle of bioavailability, affordability, physical or lifestyle modifications, etc. And the next point is fortification of commercial foods. Fortification of commercial foods means it helps in the process of adding minerals, vitamins by in the food by the manufacturers who usually sell those commercial foods. Then next comes the supplementation and behavioral change. First, I will go with the behavioral change because the deficiencies which leads to malnutrition or hidden hunger, it basically shows a symptom which is very unspecified, but we can observe it. That is the neurocognition development. It impairs the neurocognitional development of an individual, so it can be treated well through supplementing, like supplementations of vitamins, iron, calcium, herbal supplements, etc. There are lots of supplements that are available in the market. And the next one is very important: access to education and social protection. We need a better government to implement lots of schemes, social welfare schemes for the public, for implementing lots of effort to improve the condition regarding malnutrition. And access to education means we can share the knowledge among all of us, like today as we are discussing what is hidden hunger, how can we prevent it, like that. If we share our knowledge about its impact and other consequences to others, then we all will be aware of it and we can stop hidden hunger, and it will help our country to grow better. And that is the thing I would like to share, and I hope I am able to make you understand my viewpoint. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Shanghamitra. Good effort. এবার জাজ আমি রিকোয়েস্ট করবো, I request the judge, if you have any questions, please ask her regarding her presentation. Ms. Preeti
Okay.
Kumar.
Nice presentation, Shanghamitra. I wanted you to elaborate little bit about behavioral change, how it will help in hidden, preventing hidden hunger.
uh, Behavioral change is that, for a simple example I can give, if I am hungry, if I am not able to eat, then I will behave like my coordination is will not be proper. Like if I am deficit of some vitamins or mineral, my body will throw its symptom through which we can see or symbolize behavioral change. As I've talked about neurocognitive process, that many of the nerve tissues get damaged due to some deficiencies of some nutrients. So like that, it helps to recognize which mineral is deficient in our body.
Sanghamitra, you're UG or PG student?
Ma'am, I'm a UG student.
Which sem?
I'm third sem.
Okay.
Pajbaj College, তাই তো?
No, ma'am. Women's
Women's
College.
college.
Oh, আচ্ছা, Women's College. Okay,
Yeah.
Women's College, third sem, Food and Nutrition Department, UG, তাই তো? আর Shonchita Das was also, I think, Sem 3 only, but Panihati Mahavidyalaya. তাই তো Shonchita?
Yes, ma'am.
And she's also UG student, no ma'am?
UG, yes, both are UG. Shonchita Das is from Panihati Mahavidyalaya and Shangomitra is from Women's College, as she said.
Okay.
Acha, Shangomitra, just tell me one thing. Can you name some foods that have been fortified recently? Can you give some examples?
Ma'am, fortified. There are so many rice crops.
Like আমরা যেটা এখন রেগুলার বেসিসে কনজিউম করি তার মধ্যে কি কি ফর্টিফাইড খাচ্ছি আমরা? যেটা আমরা রেগুলার খাই তার মধ্যে কি আছে যেটা ফর্টিফাই করা হয়ে গেছে? ফর্টিফাই, আচ্ছা, কোনো জিনিস যদি ফর্টিফাই করা হয় সেটা আমি বুঝবো কি করে যে ওটা ফর্টিফাইড কি নয়? হাউ ডু আই আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড? যেহেতু তুমি ফর্টিফিকেশনের কথা এখানে লিখেছো, and definitely fortification is a very important step for overcoming this hidden hunger problem, right? So just tell me, like, how will I understand whether the food has been fortified or not?
Ma'am, recommendations থাকে অনেক মানে FAO দ্বারা কোনো রেকমেন্ডেশন থাকলে বা WHO দ্বারা কোনো রেকমেন্ডেশন থাকলে সেই জিনিসটার উপরে।
রেকমেন্ডেশন FSSAI দেয়, আর এইটা তোমার ফর্টিফাইড প্লাস F দেখলে বোঝা যাবে। যে কোনো খাবারের প্রোডাক্টের উপরে যদি প্যাকেজের উপরে প্লাস F লেখা আছে, দ্যাট মিনস ইট ইজ ফর্টিফাইড, right? That is the symbol. And recently tomar milk has been fortified very recently. Salt was already fortified, but double fortification has now been done. Okay, like milk is now fortified with A and D, salt is now fortified with iron and iodine. Okay, thank you, Shangomitra. Please stay back. We'll go to the next presentation. Shayantini Sarkar is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. শায়ন্তনী, আমি তোমার পোস্টার দেখাবো, তুমি আগে নিজেকে ভালো করে ইন্ট্রোডিউস করে দেবে প্লিজ, ইফ পসিবল উইথ ভিডিও অন।
Okay, ma'am.
I think the poster is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, and one thing I would really like to appreciate, it's very beautifully done with hand. এটা হাতে করেছো, তাই তো?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, due to this bad weather condition, I failed to make a presentation in the computer,
No
and
problem.
so I
No
decided
problem.
to do it on my hand. And
Okay, that's not at all a problem, but it's done very nicely. So
thank you.
লেখাটা আমি জানি না সবাই পড়তে পারছে কি না, কেন এর বেশি তো আমি এটাকে এক্সপ্যান্ড করতে পারছি না।
না, প্রত্যাশা খুব সুন্দর এসছে। It's visible. Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
It's a very nice poster.
Thank you. Okay, Shayantini, you can continue.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, good afternoon, everyone. I am Shayantini Sarkar from Bajbaj College. আমি এই কম্ব্যাক্টিং হাঙ্গার এই পোস্টারটা ডিজাইন করেছি। বেসিক্যালি এটাতে আমি দেখাতে চেয়েছি যে কিভাবে আমরা হাঙ্গারটাকে কমব্যাক্ট করতে পারবো। তো তাতে সবার ফার্স্টে আমি এটা বলতে চেয়েছি, মানে পুরো পোস্টারটাতে আমি এটা দেখিয়েছি যে কিভাবে কিচেন দিয়ে আমরা হাঙ্গারটা কমব্যাক্ট করতে পারি। লাইক আমার এটা পার্সোনালি মনে হয় যে এই হিডেন হাঙ্গার, এই যে কনসেপ্টটা, এই হিডেন হাঙ্গারটা আসে একমাত্র আমাদের কিচেন থেকে। যদি আমরা কিচেনটাকে ঠিক করে প্রপারলি মেনটেন করতে পারি, হেলদি হ্যাবিটস মেনটেন করতে পারি, তাহলে এই হিডেন হাঙ্গার বিষয়টাকে আমরা মুভ আউট করতে পারবো। উই রাইজ আওয়ার সেলফ বাই লিফটিং আদার্স, মানে সবাইকে আমরা লিফট করতে পারবো, তবেই আমরা নিজেরা নিজেরা ডেভেলপ হতে পারবো, নিজেরা রাইজ করতে পারবো। সো বাড়িতে যদি নিজেরা মায়েরা বা আমরা নিজেরা যারা নিউট্রিশন নিয়ে পড়াশোনা করছি, আমি 3rd সেমে স্টুডেন্ট নিউট্রিশনে, সো আমরা যারা পড়াশোনা করছি, আমরা যদি সবাই এই কিচেনটাকে প্রপারলি মেনটেন করতে পারি, লাইক বাড়িতে কিচেন গার্ডেন মেনটেন করি, বা প্রপারলি কুকিং, যে আমরা কুকিং এর অনেকগুলো মেথডস পড়ি, যে প্রপার প্রিকশন আমাদের নেওয়া উচিত, আমরা যদি সেইগুলোকে প্রপারলি মেনটেন করি, তাহলে লস অফ নিউট্রিয়েন্টস, মিনারেলস এন্ড মেনি আদার থিংস ক্যান বি কনব্যাক্টেড। তো সেইগুলো যদি আমরা ঠিকঠাক ভাবে রিচ করতে পারি, তাহলে হিডেন হাঙ্গার, মানে হিডেন হাঙ্গার ইজ অ্যাকচুয়ালি অ্যাকর্ডিং টু মি যে যেগুলো আমরা দিতে পারি না, মানে আমাদের বডি যেগুলো পায় কিন্তু ইউটিলাইজ করতে পারে না, দ্যাট ইজ দ্য মেন থিং। সো দিস হেলদি হ্যাবিটস ফর কিচেন maintained by us can be the best and the easiest way to combat this nutrition, মানে combat this hunger, hidden hunger. সো নিউট্রিশনের আরো একটা সব থেকে ইম্পর্টেন্ট কথা, যে যদি আমরা প্রপার টাইমে খাই, এটা অনেক ডক্টরস এন্ড রিসার্চ পেপার্স থেকে আমি এটা পেয়েছি, যে যদি আমরা প্রপার টাইমে খাই আর প্রপার মেনটেনেন্স অফ টাইম অ্যান্ড প্রপার হেলদি হ্যাবিটস, সেইগুলো কিন্তু আমাদের বডিতে এনজাইম সিক্রেশন, আমাদের বডিতে প্রপার টাইমিং এর জন্য আলাদা আলাদা অনেক রকমের মানে মেন্টাল সেট আপও আমাদের বডিতে অনেক সময় ফুড ইউটিলাইজেশনে হেল্প করে। সো এই হেলদি হ্যাবিটস গুলো হিডেন হাঙ্গার কমব্যাট করতে অনেকটাই হেল্প করবে। এখন এই যে বাইরে আমরা যে খাবার খাই, সেই ফুড আমাদেরকে অনেক সময় অনেক ডিস্টার্ব করে, যে কেন আমরা এরকম খাচ্ছি, যে বাইরের খাবার, সেইগুলোতে অনেক সময় অনেক জিনিস মিসপ্লেসড হয়ে যায়, সেই জিনিসগুলো আমরা খেতে পারি না, সেই বডিতে নিউট্রিয়েন্টস গুলো আমাদের বডিতে অ্যাবজর্বড হয় না। তো যদি আমরা বাড়িতে প্রপারলি বাড়ির খাওয়া দাওয়া করি আর বাইরের জিনিস একটু অ্যাভয়েড করি, তাহলে আমাদের বডির নিডটা মেনটেন করতে পারবো, মানে এটাই আমি অ্যাকচুয়ালি এটা দেখাতে চেয়েছি। আর একটা খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট কথা যেটা আমার মনে হয়েছে, যেটা হচ্ছে যে প্যাকেজড ফুড যেগুলো মানে ফর্টিফাইড করা হয়, মনে হয় যে আমরা হয়তো সবটা পাচ্ছি, খুব মানে মাইনিউট ভাবে পাচ্ছি, আদৌ কিন্তু আমরা সেই জিনিসটা পাই না। তাই জন্য যদি আমরা মানে এখন ইকোনমিটাও যদি আমরা দেখি, যে আমাদের ইকোনমি অনেক মানে অনেক বেশি কস্টলি হয়ে গেছে আমাদের মার্কেট, আমরা সবকিছু খেতে পারি না বলে আমাদের বডি নিউট্রিয়েন্টস পায় না। ইন দ্যাট কেস সেই জন্য আমি কিচেন গার্ডেনের কথা মেনশন করেছি, যে যদি আমরা কিচেন গার্ডেন মেনটেন করি, তাহলে আমরা অনেক ফ্রেশ ফুডস পেতে পারবো, সেখানে অ্যাডাল্টারেশন কম হবে। তো সেই করে আমরা হাঙ্গারটাকে কমব্যাট করতে পারবো। মানে এখন এই আমরা অক্টোবর মাসে ফুড ডে পালন করি, 7th অক্টোবর মনে হয়। তো ওই দিন এত আমরা ফুড ডে পালন করি, তারপরেও আমরা এত অ্যাওয়ারনেস ছড়ানোর পরেও কিন্তু আমাদের ইন্ডিয়া ইজ স্টিল প্রচুর মানুষ না খেয়ে থাকে। সো এই করেও হাঙ্গার কিন্তু অনেকভাবে রয়েছে, মানে হিডেন হাঙ্গার কথাটাকে আমরা অনেকগুলো অ্যাসপেক্টে আমরা এক্সপ্লেন করতে পারি। সো আই হ্যাভ ট্রাইড সবগুলো অ্যাসপেক্ট একটু একটু করে বলার। সো থ্যাংক ইউ।
A very nice explanation, Shayantini. Thank you. কোনো questions থাকলে please ask. Students, I would encourage you to ask questions. We have such nice presentations. Please feel free to ask questions.
Yes, ma'am, that presentation was very nice, Shayantini, a very well poster even, and the presentation explanation was also very nice. So what, ma'am, one thing I will add here, not taking time at all. Just one thing is like everybody is talking about, like she has hidden hunger in a sense of like we are eating food, but it is not available in our body, right? And most
Yes.
of you are talking, yeah, great. It's good you have mentioned about that, because most of the people are talking that it's as in hunger itself, like people are not getting food, okay? So most of you are also focusing about packaged food, like why we are going for junk food and all that instead of healthy foods. So recently I saw some data, okay, this very interesting thing. Like we used to follow Western diet a lot, and we think like people in Westernized society eat junk food, and that's why we are also following it. But the interesting fact here is those people in Western countries who are economically well, I'm talking about those people who are very, you know, we can say rich and all, those people go for organic food, the real food. They'll not go for junk food. And this is, you know, which is getting reversed in India. The more the money you have, the more you're spending on junk food instead of getting the healthy food, which is easily available because our country climate and agriculture is good and we can get this healthy food. Still, we are focusing on this packaged food and all. So I like the concept that you're trying to talk about everything in all. So else, I don't have any question as such. Anybody else want to ask? Can ask here.
So no questions for her. Okay, Shantini, thank you.
Thank
So
you very much.
Shantini, she is from semester 3, Food and Nutrition UG section, right? Bajbaj College, right? Okay, thank you. Just stay back, huh, Shantini?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we have Pritha Bose with us. Are you there, Pritha?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, Pritha. So I'm sharing your presentation, your poster.
Yes,
Just
ma'am.
give me a moment. So obviously this level is different. She is a post-graduation student, MSc second sem. So Pritha, please introduce yourself well first,
Yes, ma'am.
and then you can start. And please put your video on if possible.
Good evening, everyone. I am Pritha Bose, and I have completed my graduation from Gokhale Memorial Girls College, and I'm currently pursuing my master's. So, moving forward, combating hidden hunger. So, to
Just
combat
a second.
hidden hunger,
Sorry. Just a second. You're from which college right
Ranchi
now?
Women's College,
Ranchi
Ranchi
Women's
Women's,
College, MSc
MSc
second sem, right?
in Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics. Yes, ma'am.
MSc Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics. Okay, why I'm asking you all these details, because when we provide you the certificates, if we do not have the details correctly, then wrong detail will go to you in your certificate. That is why.
Okay.
So, okay, fine. Thank you. You can continue.
Yeah. So, to continue, in order to combat hidden hunger, we must know what it is and why it should be our concern. According to WHO, hidden hunger is the deficiency of vitamins and minerals. The diet is deficient in micronutrients. Now, why is it hidden hunger? Because micronutrient deficiencies are asymptomatic and manifestations begin to show only when the condition gets serious. 1% among 3 is affected by hidden hunger, according to FAO 2013. India has ranked 94 out of 107 countries in Global Hunger Index 2020. We need to pay attention to hidden hunger now in order to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Why does hidden hunger occur? What are the causes? Poor diet or diet low in micronutrients, poverty, nutrient loss during processing, lack of knowledge about balanced diet. Usually people just consume carbohydrate as a staple food and ignore the micronutrient content. Infections and interference in nutrient absorption go hand in hand by the vicious cycle of immunity, infection, and malnutrition. Consequences, we all know that the first 1,000 days is very vital for an infant's growth and development. So, if a pregnant woman has micronutrient deficiency, she won't be able to provide micronutrient stores to the fetus. Hence, the infant will be low birth weight with impaired mental development and increased mortality rate. And the infant will obviously not grow up to be a healthy adult. Now, coming to the main topic, how to fight hidden hunger. Number one, according to me, is nutrition education. How? Educate people to not just stick to staples as a diet and diversify their diets with locally available fruits and vegetables and have a balanced diet with adequate colored and green leafy vegetables. Encourage kitchen gardening. Stop overcooking the food to retain the micronutrient content. Educate mothers to eat properly and take good care during pregnancy, along with encouraging exclusive breastfeeding from 0 to 6 months. Biofortification, food fortification, and enrichment is always there. Second, I would come to supplementation. That is direct delivery of desired micronutrients at desired doses to desired population. For example, iron folic acid supplementation for pregnant women. If these health programs implemented by our Indian government are implemented properly, a lot of help we can get from there. Proper implementation of these programs is very important for better results. And to conclude with, I would like to say public nutrition plays a very huge role in combating hidden hunger and malnutrition as a whole. Better nutrition leads to better lives. As always, thank you. That was my part.
Okay, thank you, Pritha. Any questions for Pritha?
Nice presentation, Pritha. So clearly I can see the difference in, UG and PG presentation, the data collection and all. So later these people will also learn all this thing. I wanted to just, I want you to tell me about this. These things like you are talking about is what a government can do, right? If there's supplementation and all. What as a person you can do for combating hidden hunger?
As a person, I can encourage my family and the people I know around me to like kitchen garden. I can encourage them to I can encourage them to have a kitchen garden and grow things that like local, and I can encourage them to intake of local foods, locally available foods. They are a huge store. They provide a huge store of micronutrients. Have a lot of green vegetables, colored vegetables, colored fruit and vegetables, seasonal fruits and vegetables, which are absolutely, if these things are consumed on a regular basis and properly, and a balanced diet is maintained, then there will be no issue of malnutrition and no hidden hunger as such. But the problem lies is that people are not educated. Like they don't know what is the difference between a balanced diet, and they just go on consuming the staples, completely ignoring the vegetable and all the micronutrient content. So as a person, I can encourage people around me to go for local fruits and vegetables. And so I can do that. And I can also take initiative to convey campaigns, etc. I can do that also.
Yeah. So these are this thing, like education leads to behavioral changes. That's what happens.
Yes, exactly.
Later it helps in combating any kind of malnutrition.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
that's
absolutely.
It from my side.
Absolutely.
Okay, Pritha, can you just tell me, since you're focusing on iron folic acid supplementation, so currently, like, what is the dose of iron folic acid supplement for pregnant women?
For pregnant women, as far as I remember, it's 10 mg of elemental iron and 500 mg of folic acid. Yeah.
Yes, 500 microgram folic acid and 100 milligram of iron.
100 milligram. Sorry.
Right.
100 milligram of elemental iron. Yes.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So
Thank
just
you so
stay
much.
on. Okay, so this is the poster of Swati Agarwal. Swati, you are there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Swati, please introduce yourself first, and then you can start explaining. And it's a nice poster.
Thank you. Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Swati Agarwal, student of semester 3 CNDB department of Gokhale Memorial Girls College. So today our topic is combating hidden hunger. But as we have already known what hidden hunger is, so I was thinking of going to the definition, but I guess I'll just skip that part now. But I would like to add that It is a very alarming situation in the world, and particularly in the developing countries where people fill their stomachs but fail to incorporate the essential nutrients that are very important for our daily life. So you can already see the prevalence and the severe effects in my poster, so I'm not going into the details anymore. We will directly jump into the solutions that are very beneficial, that could prove to be very beneficial in fact. So the first and the foremost solution, according to me, for those who can afford, is the dietary diversification with portion control meals, so that we can ensure, which ensures that the individuals are having adequate amount of the essential micronutrients, and thus increasing its bioavailability, which is the total absorption and utilization of those micronutrients in our food and daily life. The next is food fortification. So as we all know that the maximum of our population has access to these staple foods. So fortification and enrichment of these staple foods like rice, oil, wheat flour, then milk can prove to be very beneficial in combating hidden hunger. Examples include that salt is being mandatorily fortified with iodine and, as ma'am said, iron in India, and vitamin D fortification is done with milk. This brings us to biofortification of crops, which is an agriculture-based approach towards the development and dissemination of micronutrient-rich crops, which is a very which does not needs a considerable amount of time or a lot of resources for the general population. Basically, a lot of research is done on a scientific level, obviously, but and I would like to add that these micronutrient-rich crops, if taken regularly, can prove to be very significant, because obviously nothing is going to happen in one day. And for farmers, those who will actually grow these crops in their farms or in their fields, they won't have to buy seeds again and again every year. They can just use a production, use a part of their production as seeds for the next year. And examples of biofortified crops in India include the rice variety DRR Dhan 45, Dhan 45, which is fortified with zinc. Which has a high content of zinc. And the I researched this basically, but the India's first biofortified cauliflower, which is the Pusa Beta Kesari 1, has a high amount of beta carotene. And I think that if people are aware of these crops that are being grown in India itself, a lot of these problems can be overcome. Next, we come to supplementation. Supplementation is basically administration of required doses of vitamins and minerals to the ones in need, and is a very popular approach in combating hidden hunger. But dietary supplementation can only be considered as a short-term measure, because it is practically very expensive, and it depends on the ability to reach the actual target audience, which is not very possible in the real world. So dietary supplementation should always be combined with nutritional interventions and food-based approaches for long-lasting effects. Lastly, I would also like to add that encouragement of this kitchen gardening can prove to be very beneficial for all sections of society, because it provides fresh fruits and vegetables which are high in nutritional content throughout the year. So with this, I would like to conclude that in order to reach the maximum impact in combating hidden hunger, all these 4 to 5 strategies, along with consumer awareness, which I believe is the main criteria of combating any problem which is global or of a specific region, is very important. And a complete approach should be made towards its success. So with that, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Swati. So any questions for her, please?
Yes, even the students can ask questions here. Anyone else, like in audience?
Yes, I would really encourage that, but unfortunately, we are not getting any questions from students. which should have happened. So Swati, you just tell me one thing. You're talking about biofortified crops, right? Uh,
Yes, ma'am.
so we have biofortified crops already, but you are saying awareness is less. But even if
Yes, ma'am.
awareness is there, two problems. One is affordability,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think, and another thing is it safe? How safe is it to have biofortified crops?
Ma'am, if it is safe only if it is consumed in the proper, like in a balance, not is that if it is fortified with the good things, then it should be consumed in higher amounts. So it will be beneficial for anybody only if it is consumed in a proper proportion.
And what about the affordability? Will it
Yes,
affect
ma'am.
the price of the particular? Will it not affect the price of the particular food item which is biofortified?
Uh, yes, ma'am. I think it will affect the overall price that a consumer will have to pay. But I think a little bit of, if the people are aware that this is beneficial for me or for my child, and uh, if the prices are tried to cut down from the part of the producer itself, then I think a little bit it can be managed on the consumer level.
Okay. So there are a lot of points in your poster. Actually, I'm expecting some questions from the audience if they are listening properly. So can you suggest any recipe for a child suffering from PEM?
Ma'am, recipe is if a child is vegan, I mean sorry, vegetarian, then khichdi, which is calorie diet, calorie rich, and also protein rich, because the pulses and cereals present in khichdi will provide the right amount of proteins that are needed for the development, proper development, and
Maybe you can add lots of vegetables to it
yes,
and also some soya beans since we are also
yes,
talking
ma'am.
about hidden hunger here. And
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think premix and malts are very good foods for PEM children.
Yes, ma'am. And milk and milk products can also be consumption of these can also be encouraged in
So
poor
if
economic
you're giving
status.
malted food it does include milk products. It does include milk.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Swati.
Thank you, ma'am.
Pratasha, do we have any more presentation? Pratasha?
Yes, just a second. Yes, we have two more presentations to get over. One is Naba Kulsum and one is Ritika Biswas. Okay, Naba, are you there?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, Naba, please introduce yourself and then do your presentation.
A very good evening, all. I'm Naba Kulsum, semester 5 student of Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics Department from Gokhale Memorial Girls College. And here is my poster on combating hidden hunger. Basically, hidden hunger, a hunger that is not felt in the belly, but it has adverse outcomes on one's lifespan because it perpetuates the intergenerational cycle of undernutrition as well. Our nation, in spite being an agriculturally rich land, has suffers more than 50% of the population in micronutrient deficiency. This is what is known as hidden hunger. one of the three burdens of malnutrition coexisting in our nation. Basically, hidden hunger is a cause of a multidimensional aspect and needs to be approached in a very systemic and organized manner. Because it is prevalent in both the underprivileged section of our society due to lack of affordability and availability, and equally present in the affluent section of our society, where behavioral changes towards food is an issue. So basically, the common approach towards solving the problem is through micronutrient supplementation required at significant stages of life, then consumption of foods that are fortified with micronutrient, and also to some extent biofortified crops like golden rice, which has enhanced beta carotene in it. And it is also equally important in a long term basis to replace the staple rice and potato combination from a poor man's plate and to an extreme corner empty calorie and junk food with the balanced diversified foodstuffs in plate, which should not only include variety of millets and pulses, but also plenty of locally available seasonal fruits and vegetables, which are colorful, basically, which have all the colors in it. And in order to assure this step in a long term basis, kitchen gardening is a very cost effective method to do so. And besides all these things, the method of preparation of food, for example, malting, sprouting, soaking, all these not will improve the the bioavailability of the micronutrients in it, and by reducing the inhibitors in the foodstuffs. And all these concepts, that is from supplementation, fortification, and diversification of diet, especially needs to be incorporated in a woman's diet in her significant stages of life, be it adolescence or especially pregnancy and lactation when the demand is way higher. Because a woman is the only aspect who can actually inbuild a future healthy generation further. And so she should not be nutritionally deprived due to any kind of social evils of general discrimination or any such practices, which is a part in India, which is a problem in India. And lastly, I would say that on the ground level, if we, fortunate individual, if we from our side can take a very minute step by providing one proper meal a day to a needy one, it can be our house help for no matter, and so that will be a help, because after all it is a high time that we start realizing that we need more fruits in a poor people's plate rather in a rich people's cosmetics, because with improvement of hidden hunger in our nation, not only our nutritional status will improve but also economic growth will enlighten. So with this note, I end my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Nava. A very different aspect again of micronutrient deficiency that she has covered regarding gender discrimination and also poverty. So, any questions for her from anybody? From the judge, any questions?
Yeah, nice presentation, Naba. You were trying to, yeah, you're trying to, reflect the different aspect of hidden hunger. So here, my question is like, if like the previous person has also talked about biofortification, right? So I wanted to know if there is a difference between biofortification or GM, genetically modified foods.
Ma'am, biofortification, genetically modified food is a part of biofortification. However, biofortification can be done in several other techniques also. So basically, in genetically modified what happens? We we isolate the gene responsible for that particular property of a plant, and we insert it in another plant to get a combination of both the two. So this is basically genetically modified organisms. And in biofortification, for example, we incorporate certain micronutrient techniques at the time of inception when the seeds are sown.
Mhm. Okay.
So according to me, this is the fine line of difference between the two.
So, is there any safety levels when they are introducing any, fortification in the food? Like if the fortification means addition of extra material or extra vitamins and minerals in the food, isn't it? So, is there any safety line
Yes,
in that?
yes, ma'am. Basically, government has um, maintained a safe safety, like a safe level of fortification, so that
Hmm.
it would not exceed the upper limit and cause toxicity.
Okay. Yeah. Any other person, any other like student can also ask. Don't hesitate to ask. Okay. If you'll ask question, then only your doubts would be clarified. And these people are your own classmate, so there should not be any kind of hesitation to ask questions.
Yes, absolutely. So I think there are no more questions. We move on to our last presentation for today then. Ritika, you are there? Ritika Biswas.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm showing your presentation. Please first introduce yourself with your video on and then you can start.
Hello, a very good evening to everyone. I'm Ritika Biswa, student of SEM 5 CMDB Department, Brooklyn Memorial Girls College, and this is my poster regarding combating hidden hunger. So basically, my all previous presenters already told what is hidden hunger is, but I will just tell about it briefly. That hidden hunger is nothing but micronutrient or vitamin and nutrient deficiency because of less uptake or absorption of those nutrients from a regular diet. So I have mentioned some points which can actually prevent this problem. The first one is building stronger food systems, which mainly focuses on those smallholder farmers who relies on their crops they are growing to get a regular meal, but who don't have the access to the market to sell them and get profit, and who don't have the proper resources to make the crops in more amount. So if we can invest in case of them, or the government can invest in case of them, then that will help them to make profit and get a regular meal, and that way they will get regular food and get proper nutrition. Then education on proper nutrition, sanitation, and hygiene. This is basically educating the population about what a balanced diet should be, about what they should eat and what they should not, and what they should avoid, and on sanitation and hygiene practices, because most of the time poor hygiene practices can lead the people or mainly the children to infectious diseases like diarrhea, which can lead them to get malnourished because of malabsorption of nutrients from the food. Then women empowerment is basically empowering women, not only educate but also empowering her to be more aware about herself, about her rights which she has or what she deserves, and then when she can challenge, or I can say she can change some social systems or social discriminations she experiences, and get a proper food and get proper nutrition. Then managing the natural disasters like floods or any that, like we can see nowadays, there are so many cyclones that cause the crop yields and the other very get destroyed or get damaged. So if we can manage those properly, the people who are connected with those will get back to their normal life as soon as possible, and that will lead them to live a healthy life. Then fortification and supplementation, these both have to do with providing the nutrients which are absent in a regular diet, or we can say which are present but in a less amount to the population. Fortification is enriching the food with certain nutrients, which are mainly which nutrients are you can say which are mainly deficient in a diet, like vitamin A, iodine, iron, zinc, to the food, and then whenever the population is eating or consuming those food, they can get those nutrients. And then supplementation
This mainly supplementing the food with particular nutrient with a particular dose. Like I think we all have seen in schools that some people used to come to our school and used to give us iron tablets or vitamin A or zinc tablets. That time we didn't understand what is the purpose, but I think after knowing about hidden hunger and comparison of this problem, I think we can relate to that. That incident. And this is actually a global issue. I mean, every country is combating this hidden hunger, but as an Indian, I would mainly focus on how our India is doing. So basically, India rank is very poor according to the Global Hunger Index 2020. So I think we should combat this problem as soon as possible to improve the health of our population and also to improve the economy of our country. So that's what my poster about is. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Ritika. So, any questions for Ritika Biswas on her poster?
Only one question, Ritika. The line you have ended it, okay, your presentation with was combating hidden hunger will help in increasing the economy.
Yes.
How?
I think this question is related to the women empowerment. So basically, what I was saying that women empowerment is not only educating her but also promoting her to be more aware about herself, about her rights. Most of the time in our Indian scenario, most of the rural areas, or I can say the most of the villages, till now, till 21st century, we can see that the women are not getting the proper nutrition. Women are got like they are experiencing the gender discrimination basically. So because of that, they are not getting the proper nutrition, and that's why they're malnourished. So whenever that malnourished woman is giving birth to a child, as a effect of that, the child is also malnourished. So that way, the child will actually face the physical or their health will be impaired, their physical ability, the mental ability will be impaired, and that way their school performance, their social behavior, that will also be affected by this. And whenever the school performance is impaired, they will not get a proper job or not get a proper work to do in the future. So if the country, as we can see nowadays, is also a problem that our society is not getting proper job. So whenever there is problem in job, the people who don't, they will not have a proper income to their home. So that way, it actually, it in that way it actually affects the economy, because in that way our economy will be affected. That's what I think about economy.
Rightly said. Actually, it is, you know that proverb, right? Healthy mind lives in a healthy body.
Yes.
So if your mind is functioning well, economy is also well. That's how your brain will help you to earn more, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's it. Any other question by anyone? Last presentation?
I think this is the last presentation because according to me, as many e-posters I have received, and if anybody in the audience still wants to present, in case you're carrying your e-poster, you're very much welcome to. Okay, then thank you, Ritika. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, yes, as we are now ending today's program, since there are no more presentations, first of all, I would like to invite Dr. Shonchita Sen, the IQAC coordinator, if she would like to add on a few words today for the program. Shonchita madam, are you there?
Yes, Prakasha, I'm here. Actually, I have listened, so I sat through the entire presentation,
Thank you so much.
and I'm really very impressed with all the presentations, e-poster presentations, and the e-posters were so insightful and so informative. And you see, nutrition, the hidden hunger actually is not just about one dimension only, that is nutritional deficiency, deficiency of micronutrients, as we call it. But it's also about it also has a socio-economic dimension. And this socio-economic dimension is very important in our country because we have so many traditions, so many beliefs, traditions, gender, equalities or inequalities that affects the nutritional status of women who form almost 50% of the population. And given the fact that these women will give birth to the next generation of workers in the society, in our society, it means that women's nutrition is perhaps one major area where a lot has to be done. And campaigning for women's nutrition is perhaps the most important thing, that is the need of the day. Because we know that we have a lot of labor, a huge population, but most of that labor perhaps is not so mentally or physically able. That is, productivity is very low. And, this nutritional status, deficiency of nutrition, basic nutrition, this is perhaps one of the reasons, if not the only reason, but one of the major reasons. Therefore, the basic nutritional, basic nutritional aspect is about the women's nutrition. So, if the women's nutrition is catered to or looked after, then the nutritional status of the next generation will also be, looked after. So all these aspects have more or less been covered, and in a very nice way in all these posters. And I'm really impressed that the students could, bring up such wonderful work in such a short time, because we had a lot of disruptions in terms of internet connections, or the students are also busy with their studies and other academic work. So it was very impressive presentation, and I liked it. So I really thank all the students who have participated, because it is for them that the presentation has been such a nice one, such an informative and insightful one. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Pratasha, for organizing such a wonderful, even though we know that you are a little disappointed with the responses from the students, but sometimes the students who have responded, they have really done very well. So I thank you, and I appreciate them, and I appreciate your effort also. And I also thank our judge, Ms. Preeti Kumari, to have come here, to have given her precious time and acted as judge of this poster competition. Thank you, Preeti. So, Pratasha, over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. I think ma'am has concluded quite well. Regarding the certificates, it will be mailed to all of you. We have your mail ID. Those who have registered and presented your posters today, all of you will be receiving your e-certificate very soon. I think within 7 to 10 days from today. And even the person who will be winning the competition, she will receive again 2 certificates, one as a winner and one as a participant. So again, I would like to thank all of you, all the participants here, those who have presented e-posters, wonderful job. But I really wish we could have more presentations today, but very good effort on your side. And I think it's a very good learning platform for all the students, because such a good skill, such a effort is required to do this. And you have a very good speaking skill, I saw. A lot of confidence is required to do this. So very good effort. Keep it up. And I would like to thank our principal madam for her support, because without which it was not possible to organize this program. I would like to thank IQAC coordinator Dr. Shonjita Sen for her support, and also all the IQAC members, including Dr. Gautam Mahata, who is also course coordinator for our department, Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics. But unfortunately, since he has a meeting today from 6 p.m., he said he cannot continue being a part of this event today anymore. He has left today and started the meeting. Dr. Ivy De, Dr. Nobamita Chakraborty, Dr. Bolari Rai Chaudhary, and Dr. Saurabh Neogi. We have other IQAC members as well, but everybody could not join today because everybody is busy with other academic work as well as their classes also. I would also like to thank all the participants because without you, this event would not be possible. Even the ones who are listening to the event today, thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much to our judge, Ms. Preeti Kumari, for taking out your precious time to be here to judge the event and give your great insight into the event in asking so many questions and giving them your advice, which would help them grow. So, and thanks to Brain Drops, Mr. Akash Mandal, who will be preparing the certificates for the program. I just hope I have not missed out anybody else. So, thanks a lot, everybody, for your patience and your effort in making this event successful. So, I think we can leave, Shonchita ma'am.
Yes, yes, we can leave now. So if the participants from other colleges have any queries, they can put them to you by
Absolutely,
mail
yes.
or by WhatsApp.
Absolutely. I think they all have the mail ID, and you have any queries, you can always mail. I think some of you have my number also because I have called you up. So any problem, you can always contact.
So we leave now. We call it a day and leave now.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Prakash.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
All. Thank you all.